wherever it is. Oh, look. Hello. Hello. Now that's a true tabby, look, grey. Actually silver and black. Beautiful little thing. Oh no, I can't feed you. Anyway, so we've been staying near Newton Abbot in a place called King's Kerswell Arch, and the idea has been, oh, that's much better. The idea has been that each day, one of the members of the family take my nan on an excursion. So on their own, a little excursion, and we have a wheelchair for her that we can push, because although she's not fragile and she can walk, she's quite slow, and so the idea was to use the wheelchair for ease of access A to B, and then she can get out when she gets there. And this cat is molting like crazy. So we all came down on the Saturday, and Saturday night they arrived, and then Sunday we had the big meal to celebrate Nun's 90th birthday, which was fantastic. That was a meal out. And then Monday, which was yesterday, was my day, and I took her to, it was basically a sea life centre and a marine zoo, basically. And we didn't really look into the sea life centre, but the marine zoo had penguins and otters, and she likes to see them being fed, so that's what we did on my day. The rest of the time is basically free time for me in this area, and so I thought that I would start by having a look at some of the little towns around the bays. So we're looking at the area basically between Exeter and Dartmouth, which is where the river that runs from Dartmoor empties into the ocean, and that's the next bay along one side, and Exeter's on the next bay the other side. And in between you've got Torbay, which has Torquay, it's got Paignton, and it's got Brixham. Those are the main sort of towns around that bay. And then on the peak of that bay to the next one is this place, Babbacombe, which is where I have come today on my own to have a little look around, because of all the places, this has a lot of things to do. So I have been to the model village in Babbacombe, and Babbacombe was basically the seafront. The bit behind it is called Mary Church, which is like a little township, and there were several attractions there that I looked briefly at, because the model railway, well, there was a model railway there, but the model village was the first place I was able to get a proper map of the area. I'm sorry, I'll zoom you out so you can see. I'm now in what's called Tessia Gardens, which is just a little park in Mary Church, which is sort of where I am at the moment. And I was able to get a map, actually, that showed me the whole of the Torbay area, which is quite good. So I plan to do many of the things that are along the coast, which look good. The other thing that they had here at Mary Church was a place called Bygones, which looks a little bit like a sort of Victorian style cross between a waxworks and a sort of museum, really. I looked in the gift shop, but I didn't actually go into that one. And then I've settled here in the Tessia Gardens. I think the next stop I think there might be a little sort of museum thing between here and the cliff railway which goes down to the beach, and that's sort of the next thing that's on my list. It's only just gone 1 o'clock, so there is plenty of time, so I might sit here for a bit. I don't know why this always happens to me, but I always seem to end up at these places at high tide. Which is basically what this is. This is high tide. It's around 8 minutes past 3, and at 1/4 we hit the high tide mark for today. You can see though that it's not the beaches around here are not like the beaches in Cornwall. Apparently the beaches in Cornwall are all fine and lovely sands, but up here, a little further along the coast in Devon, the sand is permeated by whatever the red stuff is in that cliff. I'm told it's clay, but I don't know how reliable that is. It might be clay, it could be iron, it could be anything. But the sands are all that colour. They're sort of almost a reddy orange. It's not quite volcanic, but it's pretty close in colour, and incredibly stony, because that's sort of more what they are rather than fine sand grains. They're more like, chips off the cliffs around here. As you can see, with good reason, that cliff there has started to deposit itself into the water. This is Babbacombe Bay. It's the beach. Behind me, that structure up there, is the little cliff railway, which is like a much larger version of the one in Scarborough actually, which takes you down to the seafront. If I go along here you can start to see it. It's a little cable car that just goes straight up, because it's quite a sheer cliff actually. It's quite steep, but we can walk around this bit here and we come to another beach by the next side of the cove in front of us here. This is Babbacombe Beach. Basically, this is the outskirts of Torquay. It's round that corner, basically. The one that's out there, sorry. So it's round that corner there. But Torbay also owns this little bit round here. At the top there is St Mary's Church, a little township, and down here is Babbacombe, and then behind us up there is Babbacombe, and Babbacombe Beach at the bottom here. So this is the bit that I've been exploring. Today's the first day I've really been able to properly explore. Saturday we came down and we sort of were mainly focused on collecting provisions and sorting out the surprise party. Well, not party, but the surprise of being at the place for now. Sunday was a day of rest, and the evening was all about her 90th birthday celebration. I did in fact go to Paignton on the Sunday. I was trying to check out the buses, which I've done. The 12 goes round the other place, so it passes ours, and then it goes Torbay, into Torbay, Torquay, all the way round Paignton to Brixham. But you can change at Torquay to come around here on the 11. So there we are. So Sunday I did get a little bit of chance to at least discover the bus routes. As I said, the 12 basically comes down from Newton Abbot through King's Kerswell Arch, which is where we're staying. It goes into the Torbay area to Torquay, and then it goes along the bay side, stopping at the Preston Sands, at Paynton, and then ending at Brixham. Now, if you want to come this side of that rock there that's sticking out, the one that goes right out there, then you have to change at Torquay for the number 11, which comes to Babbacombe, and in fact carries on to St Mary's Church up there. So the whole place is serviced by stagecoach, which are quite expensive, it has to be said, but they are very, very reliable. Let's just put it this way: on Sunday they were running every 20 minutes. So that was pretty good going indeed. What did I do yesterday? Well, yesterday was my special day with my nan. Every person, every set of people are having a special day with nan, taking her somewhere to get some quality time. And we went to to an aquarium, basically, which had a marine zoo on top. So it had penguins, it had seals, although the seals weren't there at that time. The baby pup, there was something wrong with it. But anyway, penguins, otters, and then inside was the fish, which we actually didn't get time to look at, because we spent most of our time at the penguins, which is what my nan just loved to watch. And we saw the baby penguin, and we saw them being fed, and all that sort of stuff. So I think it went really, really well. Today she has gone to Dartmouth, which is the cove from Torbay, but rather than being on this side of Torbay, it's on the other side. So it's where the famous Dartmoor sort of meets the shore, if you like. The river that comes out from that moor goes into the sea, and you can take river cruises and stuff, and they're taking her there. Rosie and Tom, I have no idea what they're doing with her. They are only around for half the time here. The other half of the time they are spending in Wimbledon, and then heading home a bit early for other commitments in York, I think, or something like that. So they're doing something with her at the end of the week. In between times, my parents are taking her on day trips, one of which is tomorrow to one of the monasteries around here, which I'm going to. I think Friday my parents might be doing something with her on her own, but basically I hope to cover this coastline area, at least between Oddicombe, where we are now, and Brixham. If I have spare time, I might try and get to Dartmouth or Exeter, and if not, I'm probably going to go with my parents if they're doing more exciting things with travel that I can't get to on my own. So we're almost now at the Babbacombe beach. Again, it will be almost perfect high tide, so it'll be a walk along the promenade, and another walk along the promenade, and then another walk along the promenade, and